All right, get ready, because today we're going deep into a truly fascinating story,
Oh, yeah.
the history of a Czech school
Wow.
in Romania.
You got that right.
We're heading all the way to a village called Gerník, a place with a past that's got more twists and turns than you can imagine. We'll be traveling from the 1800s
All the way.
all the way to the present day, and we'll be looking at how this school dealt with language changes, relied on some amazingly dedicated teachers,
I mean,
and even survived changes in national borders.
yeah, what's so interesting here is how this school, out there in a seemingly isolated village, actually mirrors wider European history.
Right.
It's like a miniature version of shifting power dynamics, changing cultural identities,
Yeah,
and the relentless pursuit of education, no matter the odds.
I love that. Okay, let's unpack this story, starting with the early days. Imagine Garnick before they even had a proper school.
Right?
What did education look like back then?
Well, picture this. It was all informal, with everyday people stepping up to teach basic lessons. They'd gather students wherever they could, probably just a single room in some communal building.
Makes sense.
No fancy classrooms or certified teachers, just the community pooling their resources to educate the next generation.
So, when did things change? Was
Mhm.
there a specific turning point for Garnick's education system?
Oh, absolutely. The arrival of a priest named František Gonzaitic in 1851,
Okay.
that was a game changer. This guy really championed education,
Good for him.
recognizing they needed a dedicated space for learning. Unzeidig even went as far as lobbying the military authorities.
Really?
Remember, the Banat region was under the control of the Austro-Hungarian military frontier
Right.
back then.
Yeah.
His efforts paid off because they actually built a stone schoolhouse in 1853.
That's amazing. A priest fighting for education and convincing the military to get on board.
Right.
You mentioned the Austro-Hungarian military frontier. For
Yeah.
those of us who aren't history buffs, could you quickly explain what that was?
Sure. In a nutshell, the military frontier was basically a buffer zone set up by the Habsburg monarchy to protect against the Ottoman Empire.
Ah, I see.
Think of it as a militarized region with its own rules and administration.
So Unzeidig convinced this military administration to build a school.
Yes.
But did they get any teachers to go with it?
They got more than just any teachers. Unzeidig brought in the village's first certified teacher,
Oh, wow.
Vincek Zamushil, all the way from his home diocese in Hradec Králové. Talk about dedication, right?
That's a long way.
He knew they needed a qualified educator to lead the school.
It really shows how committed Unzeidig was, bringing in someone from so far away.
Totally.
Tell me more about Zamuja. What was he like?
Well, he was more than just a teacher.
Okay.
This guy was a true Renaissance man. The Zamuja was a skilled musician who could play multiple instruments.
Wow.
He didn't just teach in the classroom. He established a brass band,
Oh, cool.
made up of retired soldiers, no less.
Serious.
Oh, yeah. Plus a church choir and even a student orchestra.
He sounds amazing.
Clearly, he was passionate about music and sharing that passion with the community.
Teaching retired soldiers to play instruments, I can only imagine those rehearsals.
Right.
It sounds like he had a lasting impact.
He did.
Wasn't there some sort of tribute to him years later?
There was. In 2002, the village dedicated a plaque to him, honoring Zamushil's significant contribution to Gerník
That's great.
and its cultural life.
Yeah.
It really shows how deeply he impacted the community.
It's amazing how one person can shape a village's educational and cultural landscape so profoundly. But moving into the late 1800s, things start to shift, right?
They do.
The political scene changes drastically, and I imagine that had a big effect on the school.
You're absolutely right. The Austro-Hungarian Compromise of 1867, that's when everything changed.
What happened?
Well, the military frontier got dissolved, and the Banat region became part of Hungary.
Wow. So what did that mean for our little school in Gerník?
Well, for starters, the official language changed
Yeah.
from German to Hungarian. Even the village's name was changed to Sereni Buzaz.
That's a big adjustment.
You can imagine the changes the villagers had to make, especially the kids going to school.
It makes you wonder what the curriculum was like under Hungarian rule
Yeah.
and how the teachers handled this sudden language switch.
It must have been tough.
But the changes didn't stop there, did they?
No, they didn't.
Garnick's population started to grow around this time too, right?
It did. And as the village got bigger,
Yeah,
the old schoolhouse just became too small.
makes sense.
So they built a new, more modern one in 1911. It had 2 classrooms and teacher apartments. A huge upgrade from that single-room setup.
Seems like a positive development when you say.
Well, a bigger, more modern building definitely sounds good.
Right.
But you said on the surface, Was there a downside to this new schoolhouse?
There was a bittersweet element to it, for sure.
Oh,
See, the new school became state-run, and that came with a big change.
oh.
Hungarian was now the primary language of instruction.
Wow, a big change. Czech, the language of the community, got pushed to the side.
That's significant. The language they use for education often reflects the power dynamics at play.
Absolutely.
So in this case, shifting to Hungarian as the main language could be seen as a way of asserting dominance over the Czech community.
Definitely.
I'm curious, how did this affect the students' daily lives?
It must have been hard.
Did they have to abandon their native language completely inside the school?
It's hard to say for sure without hearing directly from them, but it's likely that emphasizing Hungarian made things difficult for Czech-speaking students. Imagine having to learn and interact in a language that's not your own, especially somewhere as important as school.
That raises an interesting question. How did the Czech community respond to this change?
That is a good question.
Did they do anything to preserve their language and culture outside of the school?
That's something we'll definitely explore further as we go deeper into this story.
Okay, good.
But for now, let's move on to the early 20th century,
Right.
a time of even greater turmoil in Europe. World War I broke out, and the map of Europe was redrawn, leading to another major shift for Gerník and its school.
World War I, a turning point for so many nations. How did this global conflict affect our small Czech village in Romania?
Well, the 1920 Treaty of Trianon, which reshaped Europe after the war,
Yes.
gave most of the Banat region, including Gerník, to Romania.
So it changed hands again?
After being Serenibuzaz under Hungarian rule, the village's name went back to Gerník.
Wow.
But this new national identity came with a whole new set of challenges for the school.
A new country, a new set of rules. What happened at the Gerník school immediately after this change?
Well, the Hungarian teachers all left after the war.
Oh, wow.
This created a big problem. Who was going to teach the children?
That's a huge problem. What did the community do?
This is where you see the incredible resilience and dedication of the people of Gerník. Jan Farkai, the village priest, stepped up to the plate. He took on this monumental task of teaching,
Wow.
single-handedly instructing over 180 children in shifts.
How did he manage that?
It's mind-boggling just thinking about the workload he took on.
Yeah.
But it really highlights how important education was to them, even in the face of such disruption.
That's remarkable. A priest becoming the teacher for 180 kids.
Incredible.
That's dedication on a whole other level. Did he have any teaching experience before this?
Right.
Or was he learning as he went?
His main job was as a priest,
Right.
but the fact that Farkas was willing to step up shows how committed the community was to education.
It does.
And he didn't just wing it. He went on to earn a formal teaching diploma later on,
Really?
further solidifying his commitment to the role.
Talk about going above and beyond.
Yeah.
He clearly understood how important it was to create a structured learning environment for those kids. But was he alone in this? I mean, were there others who helped out?
Farkas wasn't the only one.
Good.
People like František Merhout, Marie Hanova, and Josef Nejedli also played key roles in keeping the school going during the 1930s.
So even with all the changes and uncertainty, education continued in Gerník. You mentioned something earlier about a band.
Oh, yeah.
What was that about?
It seems music stayed a big part of the school and the community.
Okay.
Despite all the challenges they faced, these teachers managed to form a band.
You're kidding.
It's proof of their resilience
Bruh.
and their desire to bring a sense of normalcy and creativity back for the children.
That's incredible.
It really is.
Makes you wonder what kind of music they played.
Right.
Were they drawing on traditional Czech folk tunes or incorporating Romanian influences?
I know.
What role did this band play in village life?
All great questions.
It's amazing how music and art can bring people together and provide a sense of joy, even in uncertain times.
Absolutely.
It makes me want to explore how this band shaped the cultural landscape of Gerník.
For sure.
But before we lose ourselves in the melodies of the past, let's move to the mid-20th century,
All right.
another pivotal moment for the Gerník School. Remember, we're tracing the evolution of this educational institution
Yes.
and the community it served.
A journey through time.
Exactly. What happened next?
Well, in 1948, they established a Czech language elementary school in Gerník.
Really?
This was huge. A return to teaching in the language of the Czech community after years of Hungarian and Romanian dominance.
What are your thoughts on this?
Well,
Was this simply a policy change?
I don't think so.
Or was it something more meaningful for the community?
It feels like more than just a policy change.
It does.
After years of having their language sidelined, The reestablishment of a Czech language school must have felt like reclaiming their cultural identity.
Absolutely.
That's a powerful statement about the enduring strength of their heritage.
It really is. Did this change lead to any practical changes in the school?
Oh, yeah?
Did they bring in new teachers?
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Between 1950 and 1957, a wave of teachers came over from Czechoslovakia,
Wow.
strengthening the school's connection to its Czech roots and bringing in fresh energy and expertise to the education system.
Bringing in teachers from Czechoslovakia must have had a significant impact on the curriculum and the way they taught.
For sure.
It makes you wonder about the cultural exchange that happened during this period. But hold on, didn't you mention earlier that it wasn't just about teachers from elsewhere?
You remember.
Of course.
In 1977, two people from Gerník, Josef Piek and Anna Rotova, earned their teaching qualifications,
That's great.
and they joined the school staff, alongside Elois Shipik, who was from Ravensko.
Now, that's what I call empowerment.
It is.
It's not just about receiving help from the outside. It's about the community investing itself, growing its own talent,
Oh, yeah.
and making sure its language and culture continue to thrive.
Exactly.
This is a big step towards self-sufficiency for the Gerník school.
Right.
It's not just relying on teachers from other places anymore. It's producing its own qualified educators. What do you think this meant for the village as a whole?
That's a great question.
It is.
And it's one we'll definitely explore further as we continue our deep dive. It's clear that this marks a turning point in the story of the Gerník School and its connection to the community it serves.
That's for sure.
But for now, let's take a short break,
Oh, hey.
and we'll come back to uncover what happened next in this fascinating tale.
All right, so we've seen how the Gerník school handled some pretty big changes in the first half of the 20th century. Changing borders, language impositions, a lack of teachers.
Definitely.
It's pretty amazing how the community not only kept the school going, but also managed to keep their cultural identity strong through it all.
Right.
But what about the language they used for teaching after they established that Czech language elementary school? Did it stay solely Czech, or were there more shifts?
Well, it wasn't exactly a smooth ride. Remember, Romania had its own national language policies to think about.
Right.
Up until 1990, Romanian was actually the main language used in the school, with Czech being taught as a mother tongue subject. It was like a balancing act,
Yeah.
trying to blend in nationally while preserving the community's language.
That makes sense. It really highlights how complex minority language rights can be.
For-
It's this constant back and forth between fitting in with the national identity and holding on to local heritage.
Totally.
But then you said things switched again in the 1990s.
Yeah, things changed big time in the 1991 school year.
Okay.
They flipped the script in the first 4 grades, making Czech the primary language and teaching Romanian as a foreign language instead.
So they went back to Czech.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder, what caused that? Was it because of political changes in Romania?
Could be.
Or was it driven by the Czech community in Gerník?
Probably a bit of both, to be honest.
Yeah.
The fall of communism in Romania back in 1989 likely played a part, creating a more open atmosphere for minority languages.
Yeah.
And then you've got the community in Gerník actively working to make sure their language and culture are passed on to the next generation.
It shows the power of community action and advocacy.
It does.
But even with this switch back to Czech,
Mhm.
which seems like a positive step for preserving their heritage, I can't help but think about those declining enrollment numbers we talked about earlier.
Yeah, that's a big one.
What happened with those in the latter half of the 20th century and into the 21st?
You're right to bring that up. Declining enrollment is a constant problem for the Gerník school,
It is.
just like it is for many rural communities. Things like people moving to cities, looking for better jobs elsewhere,
Yeah.
and changing demographics all play a part in this trend. And unfortunately, it didn't really let up as we moved into the 21st century.
So even with Czech back as the main language in the lower grades,
Yeah.
the school was still struggling with fewer and fewer students.
It was.
What specific challenges did this create for the Gerník school?
Imagine trying to run a school with fewer and fewer kids every year.
I can't.
It puts a strain on resources, makes it hard to offer a variety of classes,
Right.
and creates uncertainty about the future. And in Gerník's case, the numbers were pretty alarming.
Yeah.
Remember that statistic from 2010?
Yeah.
Where they had 0 students enrolled in the second grade?
0 students in an entire grade level.
It's wild, right?
It's crazy. That really paints a picture of the problem.
It does.
Did the community or the school administration do anything to address this dwindling student population?
Oh, they didn't just sit back.
Ugh.
They were actively searching for solutions. One thing they did might surprise you. They modernized the school in the 21st century.
Modernization?
Yeah.
What do you mean, like new textbooks and a fresh coat of paint?
It was way more than that.
Oh.
In 2007, they got brand new computers and much-needed supplies. Then, in 2010, they did major renovations. New roof, windows, doors, the whole shebang. They even insulated the building. And get this, a year later, in 2011, they finally got internet access. It seems like they were really trying to make it a more attractive and up-to-date place to learn.
So new computers, a renovated building, and finally the internet.
Exactly.
It definitely sounds like they were making a real effort to keep up with the times.
Yeah.
But do you think that really solves the problem of declining enrollment?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is.
Tough to say for sure without looking at the enrollment numbers after these changes. It probably helped to some extent.
Probably.
But new technology can't always fix the bigger socioeconomic issues that are pushing families away from rural areas.
I agree. Technology is a tool, but it can't single-handedly fix complex problems in society.
Nope.
But wait, you mentioned something about a new law affecting the school as well. What was that about?
Right. In 2007, a new law came into effect.
Okay.
It basically said that small villages should only have one school with legal status.
Interesting.
This led to the Padina Matay School from another village being put under the administration of the Gerník School.
Wow.
Even Padina Matay actually had more students.
That's surprising. It seems counterintuitive to merge a school that has more students with one that's struggling with low enrollment.
It does, doesn't it?
What was the reasoning behind that decision?
It's tough to say without more context.
Yeah.
Maybe they saw this consolidation as a way to make the most of resources and streamline the administration. Maybe having a single, legally recognized school made things easier bureaucratically and for allocating funding.
Makes sense. It makes you wonder about the practical side of this merger, though.
Yeah.
Did the kids from Padina Matay have to travel to Gerník for classes?
Who knows?
Or were there separate facilities? How did the two communities adjust to sharing a school system?
Those are great questions.
They are.
It would be interesting to delve deeper into the logistics of this whole thing. It highlights how even administrative decisions can have a ripple effect on local communities and their schools.
Absolutely. But while we're talking about connections, let's shift gears to a really unique part of the Gerník School's story, the partnership with teachers from the Czech Republic.
Ah, yes.
You mentioned this earlier, and it sounds like a pretty special program.
It is.
Tell me more about how this partnership came to be.
Back in 1997, the Romanian and Czech Ministries of Education made an agreement.
Oh, yeah?
This agreement allowed Czech teachers to be sent to Gerník to teach.
It's...
It really shows the ongoing commitment to preserving the Czech language and culture in the village, even coming from a country thousands of miles away.
It's amazing to see that level of international collaboration dedicated to supporting a small village school.
It is.
It goes beyond education. It's about cultural exchange, shared heritage, and building connections across borders.
For sure.
But how did this program actually work? Were these Czech teachers part of the regular staff, or did they have specific roles?
We have a whole list of these dedicated people and the years they served.
That's great.
It really emphasizes how long-lasting and impactful this partnership has been. Imagine, for over 2 decades, teachers have been traveling from the Czech Republic to Gerník, sharing their knowledge and passion for their language and culture.
That's amazing.
It creates this vibrant exchange of ideas and experiences that benefits both the teachers and the students.
I bet. It makes you wonder about the personal stories behind this partnership.
Yeah.
What motivated these teachers to leave their homes and teach in a small Romanian village?
Right.
What kind of impact did they have on the students and the community?
I'm right there with you. Those are the stories that truly bring history to life.
They do.
They remind us that behind all the policies and statistics are real people making a difference.
They are.
But before we get lost in the human side of things, let's pause here for a second.
Okay.
We'll continue our deep dive into the fascinating story of the Czech school in Gerník after a quick break.
So we've talked about the modernization efforts, the struggles with declining enrollment, and that incredible partnership with Czech teachers.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey.
It really has. The Gerník school has faced a lot, but it's still going strong.
It is.
Which makes me wonder, what does the future hold for a school like this?
That's the million-dollar question. It's not an easy one to answer.
It isn't.
We've seen how external forces, like political changes and language policies, has shaped its path. And we can't forget about the internal pressures, like fewer and fewer students, and the difficulties of maintaining resources in a small rural community.
It's like walking a tightrope, trying to preserve a cultural identity while also adapting to a changing world.
It is.
But even with all these obstacles, there's this amazing sense of resilience that runs through the Garnick School's story.
There is.
From dedicated teachers to a community that really values education, it's managed to keep going for over 150 years.
Amazing.
What do you think are the key ingredients that have allowed this school to persevere for so long?
Well, you've got individuals like František Zeidig, who fought for that first schoolhouse,
Right.
and Jan Farka, who taught over 180 kids all by himself.
It's incredible.
That says a lot about how much this community values education.
It does.
And then you have the cultural exchange that comes from partnerships like the one with the Czech Ministry of Education.
Right.
It's not just about teaching. It's about creating a sense of belonging and shared heritage.
It sounds like community support has been crucial in keeping the school going.
Definitely.
But is that enough to guarantee its future? What else could help a school like this not just survive, but thrive?
That's a great question, and it goes beyond just Garnick.
I think so too.
Think about all those rural communities around the world facing similar problems. Populations shrinking, limited resources, and the pull of big cities.
Yeah.
What can we learn from the Garnick School's experience that might be helpful elsewhere?
It's like a case study, a microcosm of the bigger issues and opportunities facing rural education.
Exactly.
We've seen how modernization, like bringing in computers and the internet, can attract students and make the learning environment more stimulating.
Right.
But we also talked about how technology isn't a magic solution.
It's not.
It needs to be part of a bigger plan that tackles the socioeconomic factors that are pushing families away from rural areas.
Yeah, like maybe initiatives that boost economic development, create jobs,
Yeah,
or highlight the unique advantages of rural life.
I like that.
That could help revitalize these communities and, in turn, support their schools.
It sounds like we need a multifaceted approach.
I think so.
One that acknowledges how interconnected education, economics, and community development really are.
They are.
But let's not forget about the people involved. We've
Okay.
discussed dedicated teachers and community support.
Yes.
But what about the students themselves? What role do they play in shaping the Garnick School's future?
That's such an important point. It's easy to get caught up in the administrative and logistical stuff.
It is.
But at the end of the day, it's all about the students.
It is.
Their enthusiasm, their desire to learn, their connection to their heritage,
Yeah.
those are the driving forces that will determine the school's future.
It reminds us that education isn't just about filling kids' heads with facts. It's about empowering them and helping them feel like they belong.
Absolutely.
If the students feel connected to their school and their community,
Yeah.
they're more likely to stay, contribute, and ensure that the Garnick School's legacy lives on.
I agree.
And let's not forget about cultural exchange.
Right.
We saw how partnering with Czech teachers enriched the school and strengthened their connection to a broader cultural identity.
We did.
Maybe expanding those collaborations, linking up with other schools or institutions,
That's a great idea.
could bring in new perspectives, resources, and opportunities for growth.
For sure.
It's like opening up windows to the world, letting the Garnick School become a hub for cultural exchange and learning.
I love that.
But as we wrap up our deep dive into this amazing story,
Yeah.
I keep thinking about that image of 0 students in the 2nd grade.
I know. It's powerful.
It's a stark reminder of how fragile rural communities are,
They are.
and the very real possibility that schools like this could disappear completely.
It's a wake-up call.
It is.
It shows us that we can't take these institutions for granted. They need our constant support, innovative solutions,
Yeah,
and recognition of how vital they are to keeping rural communities alive.
absolutely.
The story of the Garnick School is proof that resilience exists,
It is.
but it's also a call to action. What can we do, individually and as a society, to make sure schools like this have a future?
That's the question we all need to be asking ourselves. What's happening in Gerník isn't isolated.
It's not
It's happening in rural communities all over the world.
everywhere.
And while there are no simple solutions,
That's true.
by looking at the challenges and successes of the Garnick School,
Yeah.
we can learn valuable lessons about how to support rural education and preserve the cultural heritage it represents.
I agree.
It reminds us that even in a small village on the border of Romania and Serbia, a school story can have a global impact.
It can.
It reflects broader trends and offers important lessons for all of us.
And for you, dear listener, we hope this deep dive has made you curious and encouraged you to think critically about the challenges and possibilities facing rural education.
Yes.
The story of the Garnick School shows the enduring power of community, cultural identity,
Right.
and the pursuit of knowledge. even when faced with significant change.